Former Sooner.
Upended balls loose, lay it around, picked up on the run. Cannon, he's to the 10, he's to the 5, touchdown!
Live at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Welcome to the OU Huddle on the Sooner Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Also brought to you by Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Now, here's the voice of the Sooners, Toby Rowland.
All right, Toby.
All right, get your heads up, everybody. Here we go. It is a new week. They told me they didn't like the fact that we said they were a little subdued last week, so they were going to be rowdier tonight.
I think
they're bringing it tonight. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. 2 hours of Sooner football talk in front of us. Head coach Brent Venables and Butkus Award winner Teddy Lehman will be alongside in the next hour. But this is the BV pregame show. We call it the Huddle. And please help me welcome my co-host tonight on the end, one of the all-time Sooner greats. He is also one of the heads of Soul Mission, Josh Norman, everybody.
Glad to be here, Toby. Always a pleasure.
Give me some. And this guy right here is unlike any other broadcaster in America. He's unique, and that's why we love him. He's also one of the greatest centers in college football history, and I'll stand by that remark. The great Gabe Eichert, ladies and gentlemen.
How are we doing, T-Row?
I'm excited. I'm excited because we're going on the road this week, and that usually means Gabe picks where we're going to eat, and it's a bunch of food.
Started research this morning.
Got some
What
We've got
are
some
the places
options.
you got?
We're staying in Montgomery,
Okay.
so I'm making some
Looking
calls.
at Montgomery.
He's
That's a good
scoping it
point.
out.
Yeah.
I was asking around, and they were giving me places in Auburn, and so I need to restructure my strategy here
Yeah,
because
it's
we're
all
staying in
about-
Montgomery.
You got to start the planning. You got to find the location of the hotel and start from there.
That's a good
That's
point.
right.
Great point.
The epicenter and move
Yep.
out from there.
Yep. We'll make it happen.
Opening segment brought to you by Community Coffee, family-owned Community Coffee, the official brewed coffee of OU Athletics. Taste the difference family makes. Well, didn't go the way we wanted on Saturday night. 25-15, Tennessee wins the SEC opener on Owen Field. First two segments here, we're going to break this game down. The defense was fantastic. We're going to talk about them in segment 2.
Can we talk about him first?
Lots of I didn't produce the show, so
Okay.
Lots of flowers to pass out to the defense. That's coming up, so hold on. First segment, we're going to talk about the offense. It was not as good as they struggled again mightily on Saturday night, Gabe, and we had a quarterback change in the middle of this one as well.
Yeah, and I think that the offensive staff, they were just looking for Mike Hawkins to bring a spark to the football game, and he ended up doing that in the fourth quarter. But Jackson was just struggling. I mean, he was struggling to make decisions with the football. He's struggling whether to hand it off or throw it in the RPO game, and then had the multiple turnovers. And you just, when you're playing a team as talented and as well coached as Tennessee, you can't have those types of mistakes. So I was not surprised, knowing how the coaching staff feels about Mike Hawkins and knowing the impression that he's made ever since he stepped foot on this campus. I was not surprised that they made the change. He's a really talented player. He's not just a guy that only runs. Like, he is a good decision maker with the football and a quick decision maker with the football in the passing game. And I thought that he went out there and in those circumstances, under those circumstances, I thought he played really well, Josh.
No question about it, man. First thing I want to do before I get started, let's just all take a deep breath.
First thing I wanted to do was thank the fans. That environment was incredible
it was insane.
on Saturday
Give
night.
yourselves a hand.
Well said.
That was amazing.
No, you were spot on. I mean, that's exactly what happened. We're just looking for a spark. In the grand scheme of things, Jackson was slow to make decisions, and really it just boils down to the turnovers. That's what we could not have. The turnovers just absolutely killed us. And so luckily we were able to bring Mike in. He was able to provide a spark. And what a lot of people don't realize, we had a chance to win there at the end. Like, we weren't far away from having an opportunity to win. We get the 2-point conversion, get an onside kick. It's like we have a chance to win. And so we weren't far off. Again, a lot of that is attributed to the great defense that we played. But, man, it's such a game of details and just small things. And those small things just bit us in the butt this time.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit because it's 4 games in now, and it's kind of been the details and the small things for the offense all along the way. And the injuries, let's be honest, a couple of more of those on Saturday night as well with Nick Anderson leaving the game. Taylor Tatum left the game. Late, Deion Burks left the game. We don't know the status of any of those guys going to Auburn, but it just feels like, Josh, they got to tighten things up over there. The margin of error is so slim for them right now.
Yeah, it really is, man. We have to tighten it up. But, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, coming into the season, our top 4 receivers that we expected, or I'll say 3 of the top 4 no longer with us. They're not available. Our offensive line has been beat up, and this is not an excuse to our lack of performance.
I mean,
but
it's
more pointing to the lack of consistency. Because when you don't have a 5 offensive linemen who are used to working together, who can communicate well with each other, and it's kind of just a hodgepodge of guys that you're just trying to make one unit with, it's the same thing with receivers, communicating and being on the same page with the quarterback. And so it's like, yeah, we have to tighten those things up, and we will. But I think it's going to boil down to guys getting healthy and us having a consistent group of guys that we can rely on a consistent basis. And so, until then, we're going to have to lean heavily on our defense. And I don't want to go without saying our special teams playing at a very high level as well.
Gabe, they got to get something going. The position group on the offensive side of the ball that is healthy is running back for the most part. They got to get some running game going. It's got to start with that, right?
It's all connected. Right? It's hard to run the football if teams aren't scared of your passing game. It's hard to run the football if you're not targeting people properly in the run game along the offensive line and at the tight end position. It's hard to run the ball if you're not playing with good technique at the point of attack and creating movement on the line of scrimmage.
Truer words have never been spoken.
And all of those things are issues currently. I will say, I think we all feel bad enough about how things went offensively on Saturday. I continue to believe Javonte Barnes is a bright spot for this team. And I know you look at the box score from Saturday and didn't have a large impact on the game, but I continue to believe that he plays with a physicality and a violence that we need to see from more guys on this football team. So I appreciate what number 2 is doing out there for the Sooners. But, yeah, it's got to be better in the running game. And it'll be interesting to see with Mike Hawkins' ability to run, could we see some different concepts, getting him out on the edge of the defense? I really liked the variety we saw in the run game against Tulane, and we didn't see that variety in the run game against Tennessee for whatever reason. But there's no doubt it's very, very difficult to play offense at a high level if you can't run the football.
It's very difficult when you're also facing 2nd and 12 and 3rd and 10 all night long. First down has been it's been a problem all year.
What was it, 7 yards?
They had 30 first down snaps in this game. 19 of the 30 went for 0 or negative yards. And there were 2 fumbles, an interception, and a safety on first downs as well. So just getting drives started or series started, even if it's a 3 or 4 yard gain, which isn't a lot, but even if it's that, it would make the world so much easier for them right now, Josh.
No, that's spot on. We definitely got to do better on first down. Makes it easier on second down. Do good on second down. Makes it easier on third down. If you even get to that
Funny
point.
how that works.
Yeah, right. But, I mean, it goes back to us just being able to be consistent. I think starting off the game, those first couple of drives, or first few drives, rather, I thought we did some really good things, mixing it up, getting to the edge in the run game, getting out to the perimeter with some of the the outside zone stuff that we did, some of the jet sweep stuff we did, the quick game, throwing it out there quick in the screens and just quick game in general. But, you know, that once teams figure that out, to Gabe's point, and they start loading the box and daring you to run and you know, not having safeties over top, and we can't really, you know, throw the ball downfield, that hurts us. But I think that Mike provides us a different set of tools that we'll be able to take advantage of.
All right, I want you to give us some hope here, because with the defense Oklahoma has right now, which we're going to talk about next segment, this offense doesn't have to be awesome. If they could be average with this defense, Oklahoma's going to win a lot of. Can they get that?
Well, not only average, but don't turn the football over.
That's it. That's absolutely it. You don't have to be average. Just don't do that, and we'll be fine.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I completely agree with you, Josh. And I think that the offense, I believe the offense is going to be better. I think you have to take a long, hard look at what worked and what didn't work, and there was a lot that didn't work against a very, very physical and talented Tennessee defensive line. Not to get anyone too alarmed, but Auburn is not small up front, and Auburn is not soft up front. They're very multiple on defense. They've got big, physical guys along the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
So you're going to have to figure out what you can get accomplished with your personnel against defenses like that, because we're going to continue to see defenses like that pretty much the rest of the way.
Yeah.
It's not getting – and I think Tennessee's defense is very, very good. But it's not like it's all of a sudden going to get really easy. That is not going to happen. You are playing all of these SEC teams with big physical defensive lines. And so far up to this point in the season, OU's offensive line, with the things that they have gone to over and over again, have not shown the ability to get the job done. All right. So where do you go from here? That's the question. You got to find the things where the offensive line is set up for success and where you can block these big physical defensive linemen.
Got to find a spark. If they could light a spark on the offensive side of the ball, who knows what could happen after that. All right, we'll take a break. This next segment's going to be a lot more fun. We're going to talk about the Oklahoma defense when we come back here at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. OU and Auburn coming up Saturday on the Plains. We'll be back.
The Huddle is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Quick snap on third down. Back to pass under pressure. Hit as he throws. Ball's loose. Rolling around on the turf. It's scooped up, and the Sooners have it. Kendall Dolby jumped on it. Robert Spears Jennings hit him, and the Sooners forced the turnover they needed.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down.
Apologies to Ethan Downs there. It was Ethan Downs that recovered that fumble. Big play in the game at the time. Didn't result in anything, but still great play by the OU defense. Let's talk about that side of the ball here after a 25-15 Tennessee win Saturday night in Norman. Gabe, just magnificent, really in every way, against one of the most high-powered offenses in America. Brent Venables and Zach Alley's defense, got to be proud of their effort on Saturday.
No doubt about it. I think it's one of the best defensive performances we've seen around here in a long, long time, and especially came out and played something that they had not played in a game this season. You know, this is something that they were saving, that three-man front, and they came out and executed at a very, very high level. Defense played well enough to win the football game.
Yeah.
We can all agree that that is a Tennessee offense that is going to score a lot of points on a lot of people, and I thought that OU's defense was physical. I thought they played fast. I thought they were excellent, Josh.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think the proof is in the pudding, man. I mean, you going against an offense like that, who's able to do it on the ground and in the air. And, man, we made them uncomfortable all night. We forced them to punt the ball more than they have in the last, I think, 2 or 3 years. They hadn't punted that much in any game they played in the last 2 or 3 years, and so for us to have that type of performance is good. You know, and you know, you hear a lot about the SEC and winning the game in the trenches and stuff, and I mean, our defensive line held up very well against them. They were able to, you know, gain a lot more rushing yards there later in the game when we were kind of selling out to try and make some plays. But man, like you know, our defensive line played well, just all the way across the board, man. Getting after the quarterback, that's one thing that we've struggled with in the past, is getting sacks and getting them down. If you look at our tackles for loss and our sacks, man, we're performing at a very, very high level, and we're still turning the ball over.
Star of the night might have been Robert Spears-Jennings.
Oh, man.
Defensively, he forced one of those fumbles. He also got a sack, had a career-high 13 tackles. This guy's becoming a big-time weapon.
He is, and I love the physicality he brings to the safety position, and him having a big night is by design in that defense. And I want to give the guys on that defensive line and the inside backers credit, because a lot of that defense, you're trying to bounce things out to the secondary support players. And they executed that at a very high level, and RSJ came up and made play after play after play. And that's how it's designed. So I thought him having such a big night was just another thing to point to how well they executed on the defensive side of the ball in this game.
Yeah, I think, you know, to his point, it's one thing to put your guys in position, but they still got to make the plays, and they were able to. You know, that scheme, just like Gabe said, is to force those. Like, and I remember talking to Danny about it early in the week. He's like, "Yeah, I probably won't make a lot of tackles this week." You know, I was like, "Yeah, those safeties though," and he was like, "Yeah, those safeties, they're going to have a big responsibility this week," and they showed up, man. And obviously, Robert Spears-Jennings has been playing at a very high level all year, and this just really complemented his style of play.
There's so much to like about this defense, but when you just think about those two guys on the back end.
Yeah.
Billy Bowman and Robert Spears-Jennings, 2 and 3. Not to mention Peyton Bowen, who's a great player too.
Question.
But when that's your back end, whether it's in pass coverage or coming up to help in run support or whatever the case may be, what an advantage to have those guys.
Yeah, I mean, those three guys being able to be on the field all at once only improves our defense. I mean, because they can only just cover, but they can play down in the box and play in the run game and make secure tackles. I mean, that's a big deal. Having those running backs one-on-one with those safeties out on the perimeter and them being able to get them to the ground, that's a big deal. But then, you know, I've said this all year. I feel like we have our secondary is the best secondary in the country. I feel like we have the best safety group in the country. And so, you know, the way that our defensive line played, the way that those linebackers played, forcing, like making sure their gap secure and forcing that stuff wide. I mean, it was a great performance by those guys, and it was fun to watch.
Thought Josh Heupel made a smart move on Saturday once he got the lead, getting really conservative there, because I think he thought, and maybe rightfully so, the only way I'm going to lose this game is if I let Brent Venables get creative against Nico.
Yeah.
Because a couple of times he got to him, and whenever Tennessee dropped back to pass, something exciting could happen for Oklahoma, and it did a few times. And so he said, I'm not going to let this happen anymore. It could go wrong if we don't just start handing the ball off.
I think there were two main reasons why Tennessee got as conservative as they did. Number one, OU's offense was not showing the ability to move the ball consistently. Number two, he didn't like the matchup against the defensive line against their second-string tackles.
Yeah. They were both
Those guys were getting beat.
Yeah.
They had both tackles out. You know, Hurd didn't play in the game. Their starting right tackle went out with an injury during the game. And I don't think that Josh Heupel and Joey Halsley thought that those guys could block the guys from Oklahoma. And to their credit, it's a smart coaching decision just to say, hey, we're going to lean on this run game. We know it's solid. Let's not make any critical errors offensively, and let's just
Right.
lean on our defense.
We might be able to make some big plays through the air, but we also Nico might throw it to the wrong team or have another fumble or two.
Or he may drop back and Trace Ford may strip the ball again.
Yeah.
Like things like that. I thought that was I thought in the coaching calculus of how the game was going. I thought that was a very smart decision from Josh Heupel to approach the game offensively the way that they did in the second half.
Yeah, I don't think that's really out of the scope of who they are and out of the scope of their character. That offense is based around running the ball.
No doubt.
So that they can, open up their RPO game. And that's why it was, the 166-yard touchdown by Thornton. Like, that's the reason it was so wide open, because of the run game. They were able to run an RPO and suck all of those guys up into the box, and it's just an easy throw for him. And so that's something that they're used to doing. But again, to Gabe's point, is that when they saw that we were struggling, we don't need to risk anything. Like, we settle in, we do what we need to do. There's no need for us to open it up and throw it all over the yard. Let's run the ball and take care of and manage the clock.
I have heard some things where people are saying, "Oh, Tennessee could have scored 40-something." No, they couldn't.
No.
They were not going to move the ball efficiently. They were down their tackles. They were not going to move the ball efficiently like they normally do. Their passing attack was not going to be the same because of their protection issues. That's why Heupel did what he did.
I'll do you one better. If Josh Heupel could have scored 70 points in that game, he most absolutely would have.
What do you know about him? Yeah. You don't know the guy at all.
He most absolutely would have.
Yeah.
So
I've said this a couple of times since Saturday. It's stormy right now in Sooner Nation. But if you're going to turn the ship around in the storm, you got to have something to anchor to. And we found out Saturday night the defense is for real. I think we thought they were really good. But when you saw them play against Tennessee the way they did, there's no doubt now, in my mind anyway, that this is an elite defense. And that at least gives you something to anchor to until the offense can hopefully get things going here, Gabe.
It gives you a chance in every football game is what it does.
Right.
If you get this defense playing at that level, you will have a chance in every game you play. Now, the defense has to continue to put in the work like it has been up to this point. And I trust the leadership on that side of the ball. I trust Zach Alley and Brent Venables and the rest of the defensive staff to continue to push those
Danny
guys.
Stutzman.
Yeah, I trust Stutzman. I trust Bowman to continue to push everybody on that side of the ball to get to their highest level. You're only as good as your next performance.
That's right.
That's how it works. But, man,
it's going to be very
good.
difficult for any offense, and this last weekend was proof of that, to have a lot of explosive plays. It's just not going to happen. You might have one, maybe two a game against this defense, which means you're going to have to sustain long drives, which most offenses can't do that. And so, it's going to be hard for any team. Again, we just got to make sure that we're not turning the ball over on offense.
Agree. And the thing that, for every offense that Oklahoma is going to play moving forward now is you got to prepare for two completely different defenses. They played a completely different defense in that football game.
Yep.
And they've already shown a ton of different fronts and looks in the first three games, and then they switched to this completely different defense. So if you're the opposing offensive staff, you're going, we think this is what we're going to get?
I also feel like Brent and Zach probably had 20 more blitz packages queued up Saturday because Tennessee went so conservative they never got to use, and so they're like, well, we still got those in the holster too. There was one very unfortunate incident that took place Saturday night, the injury to Kendall Dolby. It appeared to be severe, obviously. Thoughts and prayers with him first off in his recovery, and wish him the very best. And from a football perspective, Josh, this is a blow to the team as well because he was playing fantastic for them this year at Cheetah.
Oh, man, great player, great kid. I think you can see by the reaction of the team how they feel about him, how much he's respected in the locker room. And so, he will be missed. But fortunately, unfortunately, it's a next man up mentality. But fortunately, we do have the personnel that'll be able to step in and play well. But I think you said it best, Toby. Like, let's just keep him in our thoughts and our prayers because that's really hard on the kid.
Sammy Omosigo, next man up, exciting young player, Gabe.
Impressive physically. Has made a few mistakes this year, like all young players make.
Always.
But I really liked what I saw from him. against Tennessee. I thought he grew up a lot in that football game. It looked to me like he's gaining confidence. He's seeing things a little clearer now, and need the guy because that cheetah spot is, I mean, it's pivotal in what they want to do defensively, whether they want to play the three-man front stuff or they want to jump back into their four-man front stuff. He's going to need to play at a high level, and teams are going to target him. Hey, the new guy,
Right.
playing nickel. We're coming after you, and we'll see how he responds to some of those situations. He's a talented guy, though.
Next up, the Sooners are headed to the home of War Eagle and Toomer's Corner. It's OU and Auburn coming up Saturday afternoon, and we'll preview the matchup with the Tigers next here at Rudy's. Stay with us.
Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Sooner Junior Kids Club presented by OG&E and brought to you in part by Orthodontics exclusively, Mathis Home, and Devon Energy. OU's 2024 football games are available on Exitos 96.5 FM in Oklahoma City and 101.5 FM El Patron in Tulsa, as well as on those stations' websites. Each OU Spanish broadcast will feature a 30-minute pregame show and a 15-minute postgame show. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.soonersports.com.
Oh, the beautiful tones of Josh Norman, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We're going behind enemy lines now, brought to you by the Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. I'm excited, fellas, about going to a place we've never been before. Jordan-Hare Stadium, Auburn, Alabama. One of the iconic venues in college football. Of course, the Kick Six. The Miracle was there a while back. You see the Iron Bowl there every other year. They're 2-2 on the year, coming off a loss to Arkansas last Saturday. Gabe, I'm sure you've researched up Auburn a little bit. What do you think about the Tigers?
They are having some issues offensively. Not getting the type of quarterback play that they want to get. Running it decently, but they're having some issues offensively. And
that
it is
minus 10 turnover margin would speak to that.
They're turning it over a lot. And it is really making their head football coach angry from some of the comments that I saw from him post-game.
8 interceptions, 6 fumbles through 4 games.
I believe he said he just wants a quarterback that won't throw it to the other team.
Yeah.
Which,
that's what
agree.
we all
I mean,
want.
I think that's what we all want. But, yeah, there's some serious frustration for Auburn about how things are going offensively, especially with Hugh Freeze's track record of having strong offenses. But watching their defense, I like a lot of the pieces. I think that they've got some athleticism. They're long in the secondary. They're very physical in the secondary. They've got big physical bodies along the defensive line. They can really run at linebacker. They look like an SEC defense.
Yeah, classic Auburn makeup. They've always had great defenses with the personnel that's big, strong, fast, physical, all of those things. But, for us on our side, it really ain't about our opponent. It's about us, man. And, us showing up every day throughout the week, meeting our standard, showing up on Saturday, meeting our standard, offensively not turning the ball over, allowing our defense to play at a high level, and we just got to make plays when they come our way. But shoot, man, they're a good team who are definitely having their woes with the turnovers. But man, that lends to us in our defense. We take the ball away, and so I like us in this game.
This is The Scoop, brought to you by Brahms Ice Cream and Dairy Store. The Scoop on Auburn, farm fresh for over 50 years. The quarterbacks, Peyton Thorne is the senior. Hank Brown is the redshirt freshman. Both of them have played. Not sure who we're going to see in this game. Pretty good chance you see both of them. Keandre Lambert-Smith is a name to remember. Wide receiver, number 2 in the nation in yards per catch. He's averaging almost 30 yards per catch. Big-time speedster who makes big plays for them. And the linebacker, Jalen McLeod, I think you referred to, probably the best player for them.
Very versatile piece. They move him all over. He'll be a hand-down defensive end. He'll be a stand-up edge guy. He'll be at the inside backer position. You got to know where he's at.
Fifth straight home game to start the year for Auburn. They haven't played anywhere else but at Jordan-Hare Stadium so far this year. This is the third all-time meeting between OU and Auburn. Sooners won the first two, both Sugar Bowl matchups. So OU has a 2-0 advantage. And Sooner fans are going to love this. Guess what they're doing to the stadium on Saturday? They're having an orange out. Oh, we just can't get away from it. Telling you.
Disgusting.
Everybody's being encouraged to wear orange to the game on Saturday there.
I was raised to hate that color.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, wherever we go,
I may be hostile on Saturday.
All of our greatest enemies wear orange.
So Taco Mayo brings us what's on the menu. Big appetite, bigger savings. Download and save today. So what do the Sooners have to do to handle these guys, Gabe?
Play really good defense. Right. I think when you look at this football game, you look at all the different units in this football game, Oklahoma's defense is the best unit in the entire football game. That defense has to show up and play at a high level because as much as I believe in Mike Hawkins, it is a true freshman quarterback going and starting at Auburn. What did Kirby Smart say about that place? It's one of the hardest places to play in the world.
Yeah.
If Kirby Smart says it, I believe it.
It's an epic atmosphere. I don't know how fired up they are about their football team right now, so if you could get in front of them early, maybe things turn on them a little bit.
They've lost to Cal. They've lost to Cal and Arkansas at home.
Right.
So it's not like you can't point to it and say they've been incredible on their home field.
Yeah.
They're 2-2. They've played 4 games at home. But OU's defense come out with the energy, the effort, the physicality that you played with against Tennessee. You cannot worry about what the offense does. But if the defense plays the way that it's capable of playing, going to be in a great position to go win this first SEC road game and just make some things easy for Mike Hawkins. I'm hoping to see the running game get going a little bit. I'm hoping to see them attack the perimeter a little more with the running game. And then I think he's extremely talented and a good decision maker in the passing game. I expect him to be efficient.
Yeah, I agree. This is my 2 things that we need to do. The number 1 thing is we got to win the line. By the line, I mean we got to win the trenches. On both sides of the ball, we have to be more physical than them. And then we just got to win the margin, the turnover margin. I mean, if we don't turn the ball over, man, it's going to be really hard for anyone to beat us because of how great our defense is, because of the position that our special teams puts us in. We can win the field position to put our offense in good positions as long as we're not turning the ball over. And so I feel like if we can be more physical than them in the trenches and we can win the turnover margin, we'll come away with a victory.
Feels like because of the way Oklahoma's offense is struggling and the way Alabama's offense is struggling right now, feels like one of those 10-7 slobber knockers.
Oh, my gosh.
Old school throwback.
49-45, folks. That's what we're headed for sure on Saturday. You know how this works. You know how this works, right?
Auburn has struggled offensively, and you can't imagine that this is the get-right game for them against Oklahoma's defense. But I think that quarterback play is going to be very, very important for both teams. And clearly both teams have had some, let's go with issues, at the quarterback position.
It's been bad.
And whoever plays better, I mean, that's going to be just like it always is, but that's going to be a massive factor in the football game.
All right, we'll take a look around the rest of the SEC to come this week when we come back here at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue.
We want to thank all of our Sooner Radio Network affiliates across the state and region. Fans can check out Soonersports.com for an affiliate in your area. And if you're traveling outside the state of Oklahoma, you can listen to all the action on either SiriusXM Radio or download the Varsity Network app and listen free. Taco Mayo. Big appetite, bigger savings. Download and save today. Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today.
All right, welcome back to the Huddle. We got Brent Venables and Teddy Lehman coming up at the top of the hour. OU and Auburn this Saturday afternoon down in Alabama. It's time now for What's Your Beef, brought to you by Didier Ranch. Didier Ranch's premium ranched-raised beef can be shipped anywhere in the continental U.S. Visit DidierRanch.com. That's DidierRanch.com to order. Didier Ranch, tradition tastes better. What's your beef tonight, Gabe?
Did you see Reggie Bush is suing USC?
I did see that, yes.
I thought they had made up.
He got his Heisman back.
He got the Heisman back. They brought him back for the game in the first
Retired his jersey.
retired his jersey.
Now he's suing
And now
him.
he's suing
He
him
want that paper.
for
want
NIL.
that money.
He wants back pay from NIL.
He wants back pay for NIL.
Hopefully he can open it up and give me some too.
Yeah. Can you imagine if he wins this? And
If he
gotta
wins
be-
it, it's over.
That might destroy all of college
he
football.
won't win it, but if he did, you're right. Katie barred the door.
It's just it's strange to me that you would work through all the issues that they've had.
Yeah.
You'd smooth it over, and then you'd sue them.
It is weird.
I mean, you became who you are at USC.
He's
Like,
making,
does that
he's making
have
an
no
argument.
value? You know what I'm saying? And Reggie and I were teammates.
Oh, really?
I really liked him. He's strong, by the way, really strong. But we were teammates in Buffalo, and
Be careful. He might sue you.
well, he was a guy.
Dang.
He was a great guy, and I just like. Do you not want somewhere where you can go back and like call it home? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, he just wants
Like,
to
I
be
feel
paid.
like that's slowly but surely going away with how college football works now. But shouldn't happen with someone like Reggie Bush. He's one of the best college football players ever.
Yeah. He keeps himself in the news.
I don't understand that. And it's not like the guy is hurting financially. He made a
No.
ton of money playing football.
Yeah, your beef is over with Reggie.
Sorry.
All right, you're done. All right.
It really bothered me. I don't know why it bothered me so much.
Games in college football this week. Michigan beats USC. No reaction.
Reggie Bush won't
Interesting.
be there.
Thought that would get a better reaction. Is this on? This on?
That was a great football game. by the way.
Utah beat Oklahoma State. BYU over Kansas State with one of the best punt returns I've ever seen in my life. And
That was a beatdown.
dude puked on the sidelines afterward. And then Missouri over Vanderbilt in Columbia in overtime.
Double overtime, right?
Double overtime. How about that? That was a real scare for Mizzou.
2 weeks in a row.
Anything from that slate, Josh, that caught your eye this weekend?
Yeah, the BYU game, that did surprise me. I know that they're a good team, and they were doing some really good things last year that you can see pointing them in this direction. But the way they've kind of just taken over the Big 12 by storm this year has been very impressive. And for them to go into Kansas State and beat them the way that they did, that was a very impressive victory.
That game, you hear, I feel like Coach V comes on here every week and talks about the middle eight.
Yeah. Oh,
BYU
what, they scored like 30 points in the middle eight?
28
Oh,
to
wow.
nothing
Oh,
in the middle eight.
Wow.
It could not have gone worse
Wow.
in the middle eight
Big
for
games.
Kansas State.
Big games this week, of course. The game of the weekend will also be in the state of Alabama, where we'll be Georgia at Alabama, 2 versus 4. Illinois,
Sheesh.
how about the Illini? They got a
Yeah,
squad
they
this year.
rolling
They're
this
going
year.
to Happy Valley, Louisville, and Notre Dame, and then another tough battle for Mike Gundy's team this weekend. They go to Kansas State. Both teams licking their wounds there.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Kind of maybe an elimination game for the Big 12
Oh, I don't think there's any
championship.
maybe about it. Especially you look at the rest of the schedule for both of those teams. And maybe this is just a new college football. Right?
I'm
You're going to
so
lose
lost and
2,
confused.
3, 4 games, and it's just going to take us a while to get used to it with how these conferences have kind of put all the talent into just a couple leagues. We'll see, but yeah, whoever loses that Oklahoma State-Kansas State game is going to be
Tough road.
real sad.
All right, we're going to close out the show with our hot takes, our predictions for OU Auburn when we come back here at Rudy's. Stay with us, everybody.
Thank you to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola.
Welcome back. Rudy's hopping again tonight. Despite coming off the first loss of the year, Sooner fans fired up. Anybody going to Auburn with us this week? Anybody in the crowd? Yeah, oh, there's a lot of hands going.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it.
This is, every road trip in the SEC this year in one way or another is attractive. This is one of them for me that would be most look forward to, just because you see all those games, the Iron Bowl or whatever they may be that have been played in this stadium with crazy finishes or the kick six or whatever they may be. The Eagle, I can't wait to see the Eagle soaring.
I just want to see the Eagle fly pregame.
Yeah.
I've had this one. This amongst the other ones has been circled on my calendar, man. I'm super excited about being in that atmosphere and being able to have that experience.
Get to see the Bo Jackson statue out front,
man.
Charles Barkley statue at the basketball arena and everything.
If I could meet Bo, you think Bo would be there?
He'll come find you. Don't worry about it. Yeah,
he will? Okay.
We'll tell him you're there, okay?
We close every show with our hot takes brought to you by Air Comfort Solutions. This is our prediction of what may happen in this game. We haven't been very good at this year, but the best has been Josh Norman. So we'll start with you, Josh. What's your hot take for OU Auburn?
My hot take for this week, something that we hadn't done yet, but we've been right on the cusp of doing it. I think we're going to have a special teams touchdown this week.
Ooh. Okay. I like that. Okay. So it could be a punt return. Could be a blocked punt.
Blocked punt. Kick six.
Okay. Hey, wouldn't that be something?
That would.
Wouldn't that be something?
We're gonna have a special teams touchdown this week.
Okay. That's a hot take. That qualifies. Gabe, what's your hot take brought to us by Air Comfort Solutions?
I think we're averaging 3.6 yards carry on the season.
Okay.
I think it was about 1 yard a carry.
It was 1.1 this last week.
1.1?
Ouch.
Yeah.
What would be hot enough? Give me OU's rushing attack to be 5 yards or more per carry.
Dang. Holy cow.
That'd be great.
I have not given up on this offensive line.
I'm going to have to lay down for a second. Hang on.
I refuse to give up on them. I refuse to give up on Bill Beatonbow.
My heart started racing.
I refuse.
I love it. I love it.
And Bill, we trust.
I refuse.
I got a hunch because Danny was oddly quiet the other night. Not oddly. That's just the way the game worked out. Danny's going to roar against the Tigers. We're going to have a Danny Stutzman touchdown in this game.
Whoa.
I like it.
Scoop and score or a pick six.
We win. We get us a special teams touchdown, a defensive touchdown.
If us three are right, we're going to win this game. That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
Way to go, fellas. We'll see you next week on The Huddle. Everybody, stick around. Brent Venables coming up next.
The OU Huddle has been brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. And by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Sooner Sports Network.